Big move on Wall Street for stocks. A lot of that has to do with the ECB. Jim Cramer's here. So Jim, you can help investors understand really what happened with the ECB today in terms of even more easing into territories we've never seen before.
Well, let me explain what I think is the seminal part, other than trying to keep the euro down, which they didn't succeed that well because he said, listen, we're probably done with easing. What they're doing is offering credit lines to banks that have had trouble accessing capital cheaply, so that you can get a cheap loan from an Italian bank, a cheap loan from a Spanish bank. That has allowed those bank stocks to go up. Hopefully they will issue equity like we did to be able to get more capital in. But in the interim, they're kind of being forced to borrow from the ECB to lend. Now, the issue here has been the demand side. Who's going to want to take that down? Are there projects that people want to do? I mean, the most important thing that's happening in Europe is the refugee crisis. That's really about about fiscal spending. I mean, will the Germans start building housing? Well, Italy has been very reluctant. Hungary, not EU. That's a flirt. The big problem in Europe is to try to figure out where to put all these refugees. And that's the natural play for spending. That's government spending. I don't know if there's enough demand of corporate spending, but boy, if you wanted to, the loans are going to be very, very cheap there. And that's a very big difference from the way they were before he took action.
And Jim, bring that back to the U.S. investors. So does that mean we will definitely see demand picking up in Europe and that will help U.S. businesses? Is that why our market reacts this way?
Oddly enough, it's really China. 25% of China's exports go to Europe. This is good news for China, and China needs very much to be able to do more export. A lot of our companies have said, I had tech data on Mad Money last night, business is pretty good in Europe. Avnet business is pretty good in Europe. Business is good in Europe for American guys. Cisco business is pretty good. Salesforce business is good in Europe. So this, our business has been good. The auto company's business is good in Europe, but the construction business has been bad in Europe. And this is about construction loans. The main thing that Europe has to do is stop being like Germany and being tight-fisted. And Draghi's really fighting Germany. See, Germany could lift everybody up with government spending, and they're not. So it's Merkel versus Draghi. People have to understand that's really the dynamic. They are going at it. And Merkel is determined to not have the German government grow by government spending. She is the weak link as much as she's revered. He's the strong one.
Jim Cramer, love your outlook on Europe. Thanks so much. I'm Rhonda Schaffler for TheStreet.